What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below. Thanks for being here, guys, to the best entertainment related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. Century Age of Ashes is a new game that's going to be coming out, guys, in February of 2021. As of right now, we don't have an exact release date yet. But that being said, this is a brand new multiplayer game where you're able to customize a dragon, or your own dragon, and fight in multiplayer battles. And it sounds extremely intriguing to me. And I wanted to make this video and talk about this in this segment of the show, about everything that we know so far about Century Age of Ashes, because I know some of you are probably excited about it. I know I certainly am. Let me know in the comment section down below the things that you want to see in this game, and we'll have a real conversation about it. So let's get into it. So with that being said, guys, in an article written by Laura Gray of Screen Rant, Century Age of Ashes is a fast-paced multiplayer game where players can take to the skies and battle each other on their own customized dragon. Century Age of Ashes is a new combat-based multiplayer game that was announced at the Game Awards 2020 for the PC. Fans of high fantasy-style games and dragons will enjoy crisp, detailed graphics as they soar through the skies, blasting opponents from the back of their dragon, as well as have the ability to customize characters with classes and special gear. For players excited to learn more, here is everything that we know so far about the title, guys. So really quick, I just think that this is a really cool concept where you're able to battle and customize your own dragon, and I mean, it's a fully multiplayer game. What's cool about this, though, guys, is that from what we understand so far is that this is going to be a fully free-to-play multiplayer experience, which I think is going to be really cool, to say the least. So for players who enjoy experiencing games with friends, Century Age of Ashes could be worth checking out. The style resembles games like Skyrim or Dragon Age, bringing a gritty high fantasy element to available free-to-play multiplayer games on Steam. Not to mention, there are dragons and the players can ride them instead of hunt them. This game offers those who have always wanted to take to the sky on a dragon's back a way to do just that. And I agree with this 100%. It does remind me of Skyrim and Dragon Age, but what makes it different is that you're able to fly these dragons, not necessarily that you're hunting them, guys. That's like a really interesting concept. And the fact of the matter is, this is just a multiplayer game at this point in time. Maybe they'll end up doing a story. I would love for them to actually have an expanded story here as well. I think that could be something really interesting to learn more about the backstory, the lore, and things of that nature with this title. Now, as far as the release date is concerned, guys, currently, Century Age of Ashes will be available for the PC via Steam. It doesn't appear that the game may come to other platforms like the PS4 or Nintendo Switch at this time. According to Playwing on Steam, Century Age of Ashes will be available in early access sometime in February of 2021, though there isn't an exact date at this time. It isn't clear when the full game is intended to be released either, but players can currently request to be a part of the beta on Steam. So, obviously, guys, it's up and coming here. Now, the question, though, is you got to take it with a pinch of salt. Since we don't have an exact date as of yet, there's a chance, because of the pandemic and the things going on in our world right now, that this could get pushed back a little bit if it's not 100% ready. And I would much rather prefer for this title to, just take their time, make sure it's all ready to go, make sure there's no bugs, glitches, things of that nature that are really going to hold the game back from being what it really could be. I would also like to see them bring this title to the consoles as well. Nintendo Switch, PS5, Xbox Series X. I think that would be great for this title as well, but we'll have to kind of wait and see, and I'll be sure to give you guys more information as it comes out. As far as the story is concerned, guys, according to the trailer and information available on the Century Age of Ashes website, it isn't currently known if there will be a primary storyline or plot. Players will be able to create a character and dragon that can be fully customized, and the setting for the game appears to be a high fantasy world set somewhere in the mountains or around a castle. It isn't known how the player will obtain their dragon, or if there are story elements outside of the multiplayer combat options, though hopefully more information will be released in the future regarding these points. And I absolutely agree. I really hope that this does have some sort of story to it. Obviously, we don't know it right now. It's being promoted at this, as a, a full-blown multiplayer experience, but I would love to see other elements to this title to kind of keep you engaged in the story, the lore, as we kind of stated earlier, and even some co-op modes would be really awesome as well. Now, the gameplay, Century Age of Ashes is a multiplayer game focused on PvP combat in rounds of 3v3 or 6v6. The game is free to play for anyone with a Steam account. Players can customize their dragon and avatar before taking to the skies in a fast-paced combat system where they battle using their dragon's breath as a weapon. Players can specialize in 3 different classes, Windguard, Marauder, and Phantom, and each have their own specialties for different player styles. Sounds interesting. Seems pretty relatively, conservative from the standpoint of, the ways that you fight. I mean, you basically are using your dragon's breath as the main weapon. I don't know. It hasn't stated if there's going to be other weapons, like being able to use your character that's on the back of the dragon. If you're going to be able to use he or she in a certain way, like using bow and arrow or something of that nature, jumping onto other dragons and taking over other people's, dragons and such. That's something that would be really interesting to find out too. Now, battles in Century Age of Ashes take place through detailed mountain ranges and castle maps. According to what players can see in the game's announcement trailer, Century Age of Ashes also has 3 types of arena battle styles: Carnage, Survival, and Raid. Each gives players a different goal for each round of gameplay. There will be a shop that players can use real currency to purchase cosmetic items, but those items will not act as a boon in combat once players enter the arena. While it doesn't look there will be much of an exploration element in Century Age of Ashes, it will certainly scratch an itch for those wanting to battle against friends on the back of a mighty beast. And, I feel like with this title, they certainly could update it with time. And what I mean by just updating, they could also make it, what could be really cool if they could create a place where you could also explore some of these places, some of the castles and such, with your character while you're not on the dragon. That could be really interesting. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do moving forward with this title, especially it being free to play. I'm hoping that it actually does really well, because then we maybe can expect more updates and things of that nature, more maps, and being able to have that free roam kind of style as well for those of us who are interested in exploring this world. But with that, guys, those are the things that we know. Hopefully we don't have to wait very long for this title to come out, and I'll be sure to give you guys more information as it comes out. Let me know though, guys, in the comment section down below, what is it that you guys want to see in Century Age of Ashes? Let me know in the comment section down below, and for more Century Age of Ashes content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. With the announcement of the Perfect Dark reboot, I thought it would be a great time for us to kind of review everything that we know about the Perfect Dark continuation of this franchise, this long-awaited continuation, which I know I'm very excited about. I know many of you are really excited about. You guys can check out all of my Perfect Dark content here on the YouTube channel, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below as to what you want to see return and what you want to see new in the Perfect Dark reboot. So let's get into it. So an article, guys, written by Melindy Hetfeld of Games Radar. What you need to know about the new Perfect Dark game. There's a new Perfect Dark game en route. During the Game Awards 2020, Microsoft announced one game truly no one saw coming. A new Perfect Dark game making the jump from Rare's Nintendo 64 classic to the current generation of platforms. Now, we definitely saw it coming, guys. We've talked about Perfect Dark for a while on the YouTube channel. We thought that there was definitely going to be something here. We saw, of course, the image guides that came out from Microsoft showing what each of the studios were working on. The Coalition is also helping out with the Perfect Dark, reboot. And so we kind of had an idea that they were definitely working on something behind the scenes. We just didn't know what it was all going to entail. So now that even Perfect Dark's remaster is a respectable 10 years old, it seems like the perfect time to revive the game, no pun intended. It's important to note that this isn't a Perfect Dark remake though. This is a brand new Perfect Dark game for a new generation of gamers and ardent fans alike. Understandably, Perfect Dark may be a bit of an unknown entity to those unfamiliar with the original game from over 20 years ago. So here's everything you need to know about this Perfect Dark. So Perfect Dark, guys, is a first-person shooter that's supposed to emulate the feeling of being a real spy. The new Perfect Dark will likely be a reboot of the original game released in 2000 by Rare, which was then owned by Nintendo. The new Perfect Dark will build on the pillars of the original. It will be an FPS secret agent thriller, as Microsoft describes it, led by Perfect Dark's protagonist, Joanna Dark. So that's what's really exciting, guys. Obviously, we don't know much about the story. It's a lot of speculation kind of around that. Joanna Dark is basically the original female super spy who predated Splinter Cell, Sam Fisher, and even Hitman's Agent 47. She can sneak and shoot with the best of them, and Perfect Dark offers an unusually large variety of weapons, even by today's standards. And I 100% agree with that, guys. Now, Perfect Dark was followed by Perfect Dark Zero in 2005, an Xbox 360 launch title and prequel to the original Perfect Dark that simply couldn't compete with the original, which was remastered for Xbox 360 in 2010. Perfect Dark actually had another sequel, a top-down Game Boy Color game that was released mere months after the N64 game. Now, as far as the release date is concerned, guys, this is what a lot of people want to know. A Perfect Dark release date hasn't been revealed yet. Developer The Initiative was announced 2 years ago, and from the interview video, it sounds as if they spent most of those 2 years with studio setup and idea finding, which eventually led them to Perfect Dark. Most games of the complexity Perfect Dark is aiming for take several years from announcement to release. Microsoft itself has only said it's looking forward to sharing more about Perfect Dark in the future. Our guess is that Perfect Dark will release 2023 at the earliest, fittingly the year the original game was set. So honestly, guys, I agree with this on the release date. I think 2023 makes sense. Okay, so we got the announcement. We'll probably hear a little bit more potentially in 2021. 2022, we should definitely start hearing more. We'll probably get an official, gameplay trailer and things of that nature. And 2023 sounds like a good place to kind of expect the release date to come. I would say maybe late 2023. Now, what platforms will Perfect Dark release on? This is a big question as well, guys. Perfect Dark has been a Microsoft franchise ever since Perfect Dark Zero, and The Initiative is a Microsoft-owned studio, so you can expect Perfect Dark to release on PC and Xbox Series X and Series S. Since Microsoft releases all of its first-party games on Game Pass, it will be a day one Game Pass title. The Initiative, being a Microsoft studio, makes Xbox and PC exclusivity likely, but nothing has been confirmed on that front yet. It only makes sense, guys. Microsoft wants to have as many, and you can see it, they want to have as many franchises and IPs that they own solely that they can make exclusive to their consoles. And I would say Perfect Dark here with this reboot is certainly in that same ballpark. I do not expect to see Perfect Dark on PlayStation, on Nintendo. I think it's going to only be on probably Microsoft Windows as well as, of course, Xbox Series X and S. Now, what is the story here? Well, Microsoft described the upcoming Perfect Dark as an eco-sci-fi tale set in the near future. The first trailer drives that idea home. The voiceover describes increasingly natural disasters and shows a giant storm ravaging a city while Joanna watches. In this world, giant corporations stepped in to help people adjust to life on a planet that could no longer regulate itself. But the trailer already suggests that these corporations may not selflessly have the good of the people in mind. If done right, this could be an opportunity for Perfect Dark to say something about the very real issue of climate change, which would certainly set it apart from all other FPS games, which is would be very interesting. I mean, that would it would be interesting to see if they decide to go in that direction. Now, in the original, two alien races called the Mayans and the Skeedar have chosen Earth as setting for their conflict. Each is represented by a powerful corporation which uses its resources to do the aliens' bidding. Joanna Dark, nicknamed Perfect Dark for her high scores in spy training, gets embroiled in that conflict, which will feature no less than aliens trying to kidnap the president in a plot to destroy the world. This is a bit much for a spy game in 2020, seeing as the stealth genre as a whole has moved away from sci-fi and towards a gritty sort of realism. For the reboot, you can expect something slightly more realistic, although it's not unlikely the aliens will make a comeback. In the trailer, you can already see the headquarters of Data Dine, the main antagonist in the original Perfect Dark. So, obviously, guys, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see where they go with this story. It's a lot of speculation and such. I mean, sure, Microsoft has given us a little bit of some clues, but it's still a lot of speculation. Now, as far as the developer is concerned, guys, Perfect Dark is developed by The Initiative, an all-new Microsoft studio that was announced 2 years ago. The Perfect Dark developer interview that was released shortly after the trailer, the team mentions being excited about making a Perfect Dark game with modern resources. There really isn't a game that's hitting that sort of blockbuster secret agent vision, so when I found out that we were reinventing the franchise of Perfect Dark, I was very excited, game director Daniel Neuberger says in the video. And I gotta say, I'm excited to see what the Initiative does, because the Initiative reminds me of like the Coalition. The Coalition works on the Gears of War franchise. The Initiative works on Perfect Dark. And, you know, you got a number of these different studios that are working on specific titles and franchises that Microsoft owns. And I really, really like that they're like specific to a certain franchise. Now, the Coalition is helping out the Initiative at this point with the Perfect Dark reboot. But it'll be really exciting to say the least what they decide, how this all is going to kind of shape out, guys, as time goes. Apart from Neuberger himself, previously the game director on the Tomb Raider reboot trilogy, the Initiative is made up of several game industry veterans such as studio head Daryl Gallagher, former head of Crystal Dynamics, lead writer Christine Thompson, who previously worked as narrative lead and lead writer on Destiny 2, or Christian Cantamessa, who was lead designer and writer on the first Red Dead Redemption. So they got a solid team here, guys. A solid team behind this Perfect Dark reboot. You got Microsoft, of course, and that brand that's going to really, you know, help push this thing out when it gets closer to the release and such. I'm excited about it. I really am. I'm excited about this Perfect Dark reboot. I think it could be something really special. I'm hoping that we see, you know, obviously the main story, the core story of Perfect Dark, but I also want to see multiplayer modes and co-op modes as a full package. So after you're done with the single player story, we can go and play multiplayer. We can go and play, you know, co-op. I think that's going to be really important as well. But that being said, guys, I'm really excited about this title. Let me know, though, in the comment section down below. Are you guys excited for this Perfect Dark reboot? What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Perfect Dark content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked a lot on the YouTube channel about Back 4 Blood, and this game that is very anticipated by many of us, guys, from, of course, the developers over at Turtle Rock Studios, who worked on the Left 4 Dead franchise, and it's been one that we've been waiting on for quite some time, and I want to go ahead and talk about everything that we know now about Back 4 Blood. So let's get into it. So in an article, guys, written by Jared Eden of Windows Central, it's been too long, Turtle Rock, and I 100% agree with that right off the bat, guys. It has felt like a long time since we heard any further information from Turtle Rock about Back 4 Blood, and I gotta say, I'm really excited about it. In 2019, Warner Brothers Games announced Back 4 Blood in a press release, and ever so recently, we received a more in-depth look at the 2020 Video Game Awards. Back 4 Blood is a title that zombie genre fans have been waiting for a long time. This is a brand new cooperative zombie slaying title by Turtle Rock Studios, the creators of the critically acclaimed Left 4 Dead games. Not a remake or a simple refresh of Left 4 Dead, but a bold new title for fans to enjoy. And I gotta say, guys, what Valve did with the Left 4 Dead franchise is just really unfortunate. It feels like Valve, more and more, guys, are becoming like one of those publishers that just doesn't really care much about their IPs. They don't really care about CSGO much, and that's like one of their biggest. Dota, even, of course, Left 4 Dead has not seen the light of day in a long time. And so Turtle Rock Studios decided, let's go ahead and let's take this concept and kind of run with it in our own way, because there is a huge fan base that still wants more Left 4 Dead, but we'll just come back with it with Back 4 Blood, and I think it's absolutely awesome, and it throws a lot of shade on none other than Valve. But what is Back 4 Blood? Back 4 Blood is a brand new cooperative zombie-slaying first-person shooting title by Turtle Rock Studios, the same folks who created the widely loved and critically acclaimed Left 4 Dead games. Back 4 Blood is being published in partnership with Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment. Turtle Rock Studios aims to bring the definitive next-gen co-op zombie shooter, a genre they created with Back 4 Blood. Now, as far as the gameplay is concerned, guys, like most zombie titles, the story takes place after a devastating parasite has swept the world, destroying humanity. Most people have either become infected or or have been killed by the parasitic devil worm and have become zombie-like beings called the Ridden. It's up to you to help rid the world of these monstrosities as a part of the squad called the Cleaners. You will no longer be looking for shelter to hide in, but instead clearing hordes of zombies to make areas safe once again. And I like the concept, to say the least, guys. You will participate and the usual 4-player co-op experience that Left 4 Dead fans are familiar with. This can be done with friends or solo with AI companions. There's also an 8-player PvP mode where players can take on the form of a mutated zombie to give the Cleaners a rough time. Along with these modes is the addition of something called the Game Director. The Game Director will show a set of corrupted cards that provide a wide variety of randomized variables for each mission. I just love the variety here, guys. I like that you're going to be able to play by yourself. You'll be able to play with friends. You'll be able to play PvP against other people out there. That's something that's really awesome. Now, some of the different zombies, guys, are called sprinters, hawkers, ogre, bruisers, and wretches. Very different, you know. Some different names, obviously, that they've come up with, of course, compared to that of Left 4 Dead. Now, hopefully, this will provide a fresh, fun, and unique experience every time you go to play Back 4 Blood, even if it's repeatedly playing the same mission. The cards can provide variables such as increased fog, large zombie hordes, and more mutated zombies. You will also get to own a set of cards to help counteract the corrupted cards the game director has set before you. Admittedly, Back 4 Blood is bound to be very similar to Left 4 Dead, meaning audio will be useful in many situations and could even save you from a zombie or two. Hear every gurgle and growl with our rundown of the best Xbox Series XS for 2020. And now, which platforms? So, Back 4 Blood will be available on a wide variety of platforms. The game is currently announced for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Steam, and the Epic Games Store. You can currently pre-order the game and choose between the Standard Edition, Deluxe Edition, or Ultimate Edition. Now, when is Back 4 Blood coming out? So this is where it gets exciting, guys. Back 4 Blood is currently set to launch during the summer of 2021 on June 22nd. Considering how recent events have been, the chances of a delay are always possible. This launch date could very easily be pushed to a later point in the year. This may not end up being the case, but the chance is always there. And I agree. Look, I've really pleaded that, developers need to be on point with when they're going to release a game. And I understand with the pandemic and everything going on, it makes it really difficult, but we're seeing this a recurring theme where these games are getting pushed back to later dates, and a lot of people forget about these games, and people who want to play them may forget about the game that is even coming out, and it could really hurt with the launch and so on and so forth. It's just not good for anybody. Wait until the game is ready to go and give us a release date that you're going to be able to stick to. You look at the film industry, you look at a lot of those other industries. Sure, during the pandemic, there's been a lot of, pushback, a lot of, release changes and things of that nature. But I really hope that Back 4 Blood sticks with this June 22nd, 2021 release date. But yeah, you got to take it with a pinch of salt, guys, because of everything that's going on in the world right now. So, is Back 4 Blood Left 4 Dead 3? No, Back 4 Blood is not Left 4 Dead 3. Turtle Rock Studios wants to do something more than what Left 4 Dead is while still keeping that same core gameplay that fans love. They are working closely with the community to help shape this title, ensuring that fans will get a product that they will enjoy. The developers of Turtle Rock have also taken it upon themselves to playtest the game almost every day and have been doing so since the 3rd month of production. So guys, I gotta say, I am very excited about this title. This is one of my most anticipated games of 2021, to say the least. I'm a huge horror fan. I love horror games, horror movies. I cannot wait to play this game because, look, I have wanted a sequel to Left 4 Dead 2. That being in the form of Left 4 Dead 3. But since Valve obviously is kind of almost seems like they've abandoned that IP, I think now Back 4 Blood can kind of quench that thirst, and it could even be better than Left 4 Dead. I mean, who knows? We love the Left 4 Dead games, but Back 4 Blood could really, with the updated graphics and all of those things, and Back 4 Blood, or I should say Turtle Rock Studios being the ones who worked on Left 4 Dead, I think that this could be a great opportunity for them to make Back 4 Blood even better than Left 4 Dead and kind of one up what they did with that franchise. But let me know, guys, are you guys excited about Back 4 Blood? What do you all think? Let me know in the comment section down below and let's have a real conversation about it. And for more Back 4 Blood content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Bayonetta is a title, guys, that I've wanted to see a continuation of for quite some time, and we got an announcement of Bayonetta 3 back in 2017, and we haven't heard much since then. And so what I wanted to go ahead and do is talk about everything that we know so far about Bayonetta 3. We can kind of break it down. Is this game canceled? Is it going to be coming out at some point or another? What's going on here? Because is this a game that could be in some development hell cycle or a limbo state, or potentially a state of no return? So let's talk about it. In an article, guys, written by Liam Dolan of Nintendo Life, Hideki Kamiya hopes to share an update about Bayonetta 3 at some point in 2021. Right off the bat, guys, that's one thing that's interesting to me, that they are, as far as Nintendo is concerned, they hope to share something. Why can't you share an update? It kind of tells me that something is wrong behind the scenes with Bayonetta 3. But we continue. Bayonetta 3 has been in the making for quite some time now, but Platinum Games is yet to properly reveal this anticipated Switch exclusive. Series creator Hideki Kamiya has also remained tight-lipped, telling fans for the last few years how development is going fine and not to worry. So when can we expect to hear more about this anticipated Switch exclusive? Hopefully it will be this year. In a recent chat on one of Hamster's Arcade Archives streams, Kamiya made reference to Bayonetta 3 when asked what Platinum Games has been busy with as of late. Here's what he had to say, courtesy of a translation by Nintendo Everything. We've been working on new stuff like Bayonetta 3. Not that I can say too much, but I hope we can give an update during the year. He went on to mention how he has an unannounced project with the aim to bring some hype to the industry, so we're guessing he's not referring to the already revealed Project GG, another upcoming release which is part of a hero trilogy containing Beautiful Joe and the Wonderful 101, and give updates on a few more unannounced projects too. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but I said it anyway. The point is, I'm trying to do a lot of stuff this year. Please keep an eye on us. I'm hoping to bring some hype to this industry. So that really gives us the question, are we going to get a Bayonetta, 3 more talk of it? Are we going to be able to see gameplay? Are we going to be able to see all of those things for Bayonetta 3 this year? It's really hard to say, guys. I want to know from you guys. Do you guys think we're going to hear more about Bayonetta 3? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, in an article written by Jordan Oleman of Games Radar, all the hot gossip on the Switch exclusive Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 is official, and while information on it is scarce right now, we know that Platinum Games is still hard at work on Bayonetta 3. The Witch Queen Bayonetta is coming back once again after a 6-year hiatus with Bayonetta 3, which was revealed by Nintendo back in 2017. Ever since, there's been little in the way of new information beyond a few interview snippets dwelling on the project. Regardless, we thought it'd be best to pool up all the information together to help you get caught up on this game and its arrival and the anticipation that there is. So Bayonetta is the third entry in the Platinum Games series Bayonetta, which was first introduced to the public in 2009. Spearheaded by Hideki Kamiya, the game takes cues from his previous work like the Devil May Cry games. It's a hack and slash in a world where angels known as Lumen Sages collide in conflict with Umbra witches. Bayonetta is a witch with amnesia who fights her wicked way through hordes of enemies in order to save the world, collecting a cast of charming side characters along the way. So Bayonetta has also famously featured in both Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U, as well as the Switch release Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Bayonetta 3 is in development right now, revealed via a cryptic teaser trailer at 2017's The Game Awards. There has been relative radio silence since. There is a small potential concept art leak floating around the internet, but it's long gone unverified and should be taken with a huge pinch of salt. So, as far as the release date goes, guys, you would think Bayonetta 3 at this point would have already gotten the gameplay and all of those things, because this was announced back in 2017. So you would have thought that we would have seen game footage, we would have already seen multiple other trailers, and we would have already had a release date at this point. But that's just not the case, and that's why I'm a little bit concerned about this title being in some sort of development hell cycle where there's creative differences over at the studio. It's so hard to say. Back back in April of 2019, the game's release date was bumped from what many expect to be 2019 to an even more mysterious to be announced placeholder during Nintendo's quarterly financial report. This means it's difficult to speculate about the final Bayonetta 3 release date, but hopefully we'll hear more soon, potentially during a forthcoming Nintendo Direct, the company's preferred means of contact. Now, the last we heard about the game was when game designer Yoshiki Kozumi noted that the team was hard at work on the project during a February 2019 Nintendo Direct, which focused on Platinum's cyberpunk hack-and-slash title, Astral Chain. Series director Hideki Kamiya spoke to Famitsu in February of 2020, noting that the game is progressing smoothly and teased that there were lots of hints in the game's reveal trailer for 2017. It was thought that we may have heard some news during the Platinum 4 announcements earlier this year, but nothing has yet materialized. So, of course, guys, there is a teaser trailer that, of course, came back in 2017. The story... Now, if you've played both of the previous games, you'll know the ending of Bayonetta 2 sets up a paradox that sets the first game in motion. It's a happy note to leave it on, though, as the loop is closed despite the inevitable suffering and loss of both of Bayonetta's parents. Given the trailer, it looks like we're playing as the same Bayonetta we're used to in a similar time period to previous games. But the series is no stranger to time travel, so it's anyone's guess. It would be interesting if the third game was a prequel and investigated the civil war between the Umbra Witches and the Lumen Sages that precedes both of the main games. It'd be nice to see a new antagonist to fight against, and extra side characters, or a deeper look into some of the fan favorite characters. The only other story tidbit we have to go on is that Loki notes that he will see Bayonetta in the future during the ending sequence of the second game. This means he may well appear in the next game alongside the usual suspects. So, look, I would be interested in that type of story, or where they go, if they go in that direction with Bayonetta 3. I definitely want there to be some similarities. I also want there to be some differences, because it's been a while since we got a Bayonetta title. And so I'd like to see, of course, the similarities, guys, but I also want to see some differences with, the different, of course, all the, different enemies that you're fighting and things of that nature. I certainly want there to be, differences in location, so on and so forth, as well as the weaponry. I would love to see some new weaponry that Bayonetta utilizes to her, to her strengths and such. It'll be really interesting to see where they decide to go with the story. But as far as a wish list is concerned, given the success of Devil May Cry 5, it wouldn't surprise me to see Bayonetta 3 learn from some of the more slick aspects of that game's deeply satisfying combat, or perhaps incorporate some characters into the main game outside of the protagonist. It'd be cool to play as Jeanne, Rosa, or even Loki in the next iteration. The game is bound to innovate upon Bayo's moveset and come up with some new ideas for weapons and combos, but the groundwork is already there, and it's great fun even 10 years later, so they won't have to do too much to please fans. And I 100% agree with that. I mean, look, Bayonetta is Bayonetta, and it's a fun game, right? It's kind of like that Devil May Cry kind of style, and it's just a fun hack and slash type of styled game that's certainly fun to play. I have always wanted it to be more of like a full package, similar to, I wanted Devil May Cry to do this as well, where, it's, you play the single player story, but then there's also co-op modes, there's multiplayer modes that you can play against people, or you can play against waves and waves of enemies, or whatever the case might be. And they don't do that with these games, but I hope that they do innovate somewhat. But, to say the least, guys, I am excited about Bayonetta 3, but I'm very concerned that there are problems going on behind the scenes. I'll be sure to give you guys more information as it comes out. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys want to see in Bayonetta 3? Are you guys excited about it? Are you concerned about it? Let me know. And for more Bayonetta 3 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.